Democrats have an entire week to present their agenda to the country, the DNC. But as Matt Stoller put it, this is honestly a great convention, but it's spoiled for me because I remember the Iraq War and the financial crisis and bad trade choices. Debbie Downer, I know.
That's kind of Matt's role. Dems are hoping an upside to the convention might be tonight's address by former President Barack Obama. Research director of the American Liberties Project and friend of the show, Matt Stoller, joins us to tell us if any of this makes him feel better. Great to see you, Matt.
Good to see you, Matt.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
So first, just tell us your overall impressions of the convention and what you make of sort of their approach.
Well, I'm here to be like the resident bummer, I guess. There's no. So what I think frustrates me about this convention is that, I think it's frustrating to me. I don't like it because there's nothing about policy. It's just kind of a return to the past, to the Obama era. But it works. It's Biden's view of the world, which is that Trump is a unique threat to the soul of America. And he won. He beat the progressives with this message. And it's an appealing message to voters. And so that's the framework of the convention. And I don't think it's a good framework. I don't think it's the framework I agree with. But it works. And it's a framework that defeated the alternative, which was sort of Bernie's kind of approach. Mm-hmm. So Matt, no policy. That's really it. No policy.
Right, and I think that's a very important point because, as you put it, I think earlier on Twitter, you're like, well, the whole point of politics is to, ultimately enact some policy. We're likely to see some of that in President Obama's speech tonight. I mean, what does all of this posturing, you've been around for a while, what does all of this kind of portend if they do win the White House and the way that they might govern?
Yeah, I mean, this is decency porn, right? That's what it is. And the idea, if you don't promise any policy and you just say our leaders are going to know how to use the right salad fork, then it's kind of up in the air what they're going to do. And I don't think that Biden, Obama to me was a really bad president. His policy framework tilted, extremely towards the wealthy, towards deference to power. I don't think Biden is as bad as Obama in that respect. Biden is just more transactional. He doesn't really believe in anything, whereas Obama was really dedicated to neoliberal policies. But I don't know. I mean, that's the thing about Biden is you just don't know. It's really disorganized. He obviously, doesn't care that much about, policy. In some ways, that's good. But, you don't know where that's going to head. And the whole environment is different with China, with inequality. So it's kind of a mystery to me what he's going to do. And I think it's a mystery to most Democrats who I don't actually think they care that much about what they're going to do in government. They don't necessarily notice that that's the point of the election. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I mean, I think the choice of Biden in this election, the Biden people are reading this, and I think a lot of the media are reading it as like an affirmative choice for this sort of centrist approach to policy. When what it really was a discarding of any interest in policy and just a desire to pick whoever they thought was going to be the person who could defeat Donald Trump, period, end of story. And one of the underlying dynamics in the primary that you always spoke about was this failure for Democrats to have an honest reckoning with the Obama era and the failures therein. How do you think that impacted us getting to this point in terms of Joe Biden being the nominee and what his administration might look like? And do you think that reckoning ultimately ever will come?
It's hard to know. And let me just give you two facts because people are always like, what do you mean Obama was a bad president? So airlines consolidated dramatically, cut routes, raised prices, healthcare costs approximately doubled for an insured family of four during the Obama era. So life got worse for people. People chose Biden because Democrats thought that the reason Trump got elected is because Obama wasn't running for a third term. It's really simple. They don't believe that Obama did anything wrong. They think the only thing that was wrong is that he couldn't run again. And we chose Hillary Clinton to run again. And so nobody else really ever said Obama did a bad job and that's why Trump got into office. And Democratic voters never heard that. So, what they expect is sort of a return to decency in the White House. And the lesson of the Obama era is that the president doesn't have any control or relationship to policy. And I think that that's what Democratic voters are expecting, and they're going to be really confused when the rest of the country starts demanding policy changes. They're going to be like, hey, 300 million Americans are going to be like, hey, we have this pandemic, we have this economic and political crisis. What are you guys going to do? And, Biden and Kamala Harris are not necessarily going to have any answers. This is going to be really weird. It's this extremely weird moment right now, and I don't know where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Well, Matt, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate your analysis here.
Great to see you, Matt. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Next on Rising, tonight Hillary Clinton is going to speak at the DNC. Former Bill and Hillary Clinton advisor Richard Goodstein tells us what he thinks she might say when Rising continues.